smell good, look good, smell good, look good, smell good, look good, you go boss. Look good, smell good, look good, smell good, look good, smell good, look good, you go boss.
Yo, yo, yo.
I spray a bit of that Hugo, my shit smell like Hugo. I swivel and tight curve,
Fitz Reid.
that blue nose, my dirty, I shot it up with that blue nose. She like that big so disrespectful. She said I got heaven to give her no sex. So then every time she see me, she be feeling so sad. It's like OVO one that XO Lego times on that I flies on. Big rust my pies on. Chevy price for the 60s. Don't lie home. So get your money up. Girl need new tits in the tum-tum. I got a tick for the money stuff. It go 1, 2, 3 to the money stuff.
Yo, walk on clear.
Rapping about that shit, I really died. The best part about it is I really fucking died. I don't speak, I'm a key. You rapping to the cars. All I do is handle business while I'm motherfucking high. Yeah, look good, look good, smell good, look good, smell good, look good, you go boss. Look good, smell good, look good, smell good, look good, smell good, look good, you go boss.
All right.
Oh shit, that was good.
Yo, people, welcome to the circle. Talk to Tingz, episode 18. Today is a special day. As you could probably already see, today is a very special day. So, this is the second time you've had a guest, right? Second time, but you know, we get bigger and bigger every time. We got the Mr. Big Wonderful, my homie, Fitz Reid in the building.
You know what it is, man. Yeah. Thanks for having me, man. I feel like I'm getting to the upper echelon of the circle. You know what I'm saying? I feel honored, man, just to be around y'all. You know, thanks for having me, man. I feel like.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. sorry. Yeah. Anyways, people, you know, as usual, we're here to talk to Tingz. Wagwan Lloyd, yeah. Big up Lloyd. Chris Wagwan, Godson, Wagwan. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Lloyd, you know what? Sorry, I never got to meet you either. I was at the second one. I wasn't at the last one, but you're done now, King. We're gonna link up. We see it. So you know, people.
Real.
You saw Lloyd?
Nah, I never seen him, but I know he's a G still.
Yeah,
man.
Lloyd. Yeah. Big up. Anyways, circle talk to Tingz. Your boy Big J in the building. Got the beautiful Orla Hughes in the building, and of course we got Lisa Dainjah in the building.
What's up, everybody?
Yes, Fitz Reid.
Yeah.
So it's been a couple long weeks right now. Everybody getting back into the grind, you know, back to work, you know what I'm saying? Back to the slavery, Lord God, you know. It's hard. Me personally, I'm tired. Like, when did you go back to work?
Yo, you know what? I work 24/7, yo. When y'all was off, I was on. Trust me. So, you know what I mean? My work never stops, yo.
Yeah. What about you? Like, you on a vacation?
Yeah, I was off for 2 weeks, but I've been back every day since.
Yeah. And you're just tired, eh?
Yeah, I'm just tired. When you have 2 weeks off, it's, you know, doing nothing realistically.
And you guys know about Lisa already. Lisa's all over the place. Here, there, everywhere, and some places you're not supposed to go. Dainjah. Wagwan, Nikki. Big up yourself, Alicia. Wagwan. Oh, Dougie's just coming. Dougie, we see you. Welcome back. All right. So tonight we're gonna lead off with, you know, get this one out the way because this topic, I don't know. What? Oh, yeah. You did the intro, yeah. People, you know that. You're Fitz. You know Fitz, right? Yeah, this is for people who don't know. We got a guest today.
We're gonna talk about.
You know Fitz?
You know, who he is.
Okay, yeah.
Man, so you know what it is, man. I'm Fitz Reid. My artist name is GQ1. That was my joint that you heard at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do music as a hobby. Also, I'm a double degree holder, so I have an associate's and a bachelor's, which, you know, I got people to post earlier on in the week. You know what I'm saying? So I do marketing. I do own my own business, which is why I said that I got to work, because I got clients pressing me for all kinds of stuff. The next event that I'll be assisting would be at Afro Chic. So if anybody's around, you want to get into like all natural products or anything like that, that's where I'll be at. I will be assisting with one of my clients' booths, so I'll be there. But yeah, man, just under the thing. So that's me.
It's Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year.
But you've been around.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted.
So we look forward to having more of you all on the show.
Yeah, yeah. You play your cards right, you know. You could be on the couch with the homie. You can be on the couch with the homie. Anyways, like I said before, this topic we're gonna start off with, you know, it's on everybody's lip, on everybody's tongue. Everybody's got an opinion, and we're gonna talk about the little boy there wearing the shirt that said, what did it say? Cutest little monkey.
Coolest monkey in the
And
jungle.
the cutest monkey in the jungle. I didn't even see that part.
You didn't see that part?
Cutest monkey in the jungle. Now listen, the parents have said, the mother has said she's fine with it. She got paid and she's fine. So she doesn't understand why everybody's upset. Now for those of us that are upset, you know, we got to discuss why. You shouldn't be calling black people a monkey and tell them to come from the jungle, because everybody knows it's a negative association, right?
Yeah.
Monkey, black people, jungle. It's always been like a stereotype back then. You know, Africa, we're in the movies throwing spears like some idiots, like, you know. But there's more black people than just people in Africa and all that. Like, all in all, and it's associating our facial features with monkeys as well, right? And that's not good. What was your opinion on it, Fitz?
Man, my opinion is, see, I'm coming from a marketing business perspective. Like, I worked straight out of university. I worked as a marketing manager, and then later on, I worked as a communications coordinator. And I know that there were levels before anything came out. There's things I had to redo several times before it got to the hierarchy, and then before it got released. So the question I gotta ask is, who is overseeing that, man? And how much black people actually work at H&M? Nobody looked at that and said, hey, like, you're gonna have a problem with this? That's what I see it. So it's like,
I don't even work in marketing.
Yeah.
And those were my exact comments.
Exactly. So
The
that's
levels that it had to go through
To get to it.
before this thing hit the market, before it hit print or whatever.
Yeah, and H&M is a big company, and on top of it, I mean, they got advertisers. They got Nicki Minaj working with them. They got The Weeknd working with them. They got G-Eazy working with them. I mean, these are people that have black audiences, right? So I don't understand why nobody said this is not gonna work. You feel me?
You know what? I think he's right. Whoever passed it and the 2 levels before them were not black. Maybe there was like 5 levels and there's 1 black person in there. But I think the 2 to the top to say, oh, it's cute. This cute little monkey, you know, cutest. They weren't.
No, I
You
don't
think
think so. I'm a white person.
Okay,
I don't think
we have a
that.
white person here. White people.
Well, not white guys. No, I don't think it's acceptable at all. The only thing that I could think of why it happened is maybe H&M lost a lot of their clients and stuff, and they had to make a comeback. Because how many people in the circle went on H&M website, had a look at that sweater? Probably a lot of you guys. I didn't, but you might have went on there and were like, oh my goodness, they're cute jeans that I might like, or oh, I'm looking for trainers like that, or you know, it got a lot of people on their website and a lot of people talking about them, and it probably boosted their sales for a little bit, which sounds a bit crazy, but possibly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't shop at H&M. Like, I've probably bought 3 items in my whole life in there.
Oh, I shop.
And see, I don't shop there, but it's a big brand in Europe. It's all over Europe. Like, there's a huge one in Ireland. But I just think that it's just bringing their name around. People are talking about it, right? All publicity is good.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah,
publicity.
all good. Yeah.
Reagan was saying that it's on purpose for advertising.
Yeah.
And Nikki says they cared nothing about the backlash because his mother would back them up.
So the mother backed them up because
She did.
No, she did. But why wouldn't you? They also had her with a fat check, and then you got the likes of Puff Daddy, P Diddy, whatever his name is now, he just endorsed the child for $1 million.
Is that true?
Yeah. He
So
just endorsed
P. Diddy
the child for
gave this
Sean
kid $1
John.
million.
He
Say
was
come
offered.
offered.
He took it back because the mom is basically like, I'm not offended.
Well, maybe
when
the
you
mom
guys,
got offered $2 million.
you know,
If you're a run-of-the-mill normal person and someone offers you $2 million, you may take it. Like, I personally wouldn't sell myself short, but somebody else may. You don't know everybody's situations.
Yeah.
Andre Beal says, I kind of knew what they were doing. Bad publicity, still good publicity.
Yeah, you know what the thing is? I think due to the financial aspect, that's why the mom was cool with it going through. I mean, I don't agree with domestic abuse or domestic assault, but I did a movie in I did Director X's first feature film in 2015. It came out in 2016, and when I read the actual script for the movie, my guy had to slap a girl, and at first I was like, "Oh man, I don't think I'm gonna do this." Right? And then I was just like, "Okay, yo, you know what? Let me just do it. Like, it's a movie. There's a context to it." The only thing with the H&M ad is that there wasn't really no context to that. And then the other thing we have to look at is, what about the Papa John's example? I mean, they lost stock share, or like their stock went down because of that racial backlash. So
with Papa John's?
Yeah, with Papa John's.
The pizza,
yeah. Because I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna
I
buy.
want to read a comment by Lisa.
Yeah.
You hit something that I was thinking just on the head, but go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying there was a scarf that I wanted to actually buy from H&M. And I was gonna get it, and after that whole thing, I'm like, no, I'm not buying it.
You can't. What did Lisa say?
Lisa said they're referencing black people as monkeys. It's equivalent to calling us nigger. What do you think about the people who see nothing wrong with the slogan? Thank you, Mama. That's exactly what I wanted to talk about.
So the people
in this, I read comments and I was shocked by the amount of people who thought that there was nothing wrong with it. I mean, I knew that there would be people, but I was shocked at the amount of people who thought that this is okay. This is acceptable language. You know, this is acceptable photograph. That my little girl, my 6-year-old or my 8-year-old should look at a little black boy who's depicted in a magazine and he's darker complected than them. And it says, the coolest little monkey in the jungle. Excuse me. And the little white boy's sweater says, survival expert.
Yeah. It's like,
you know, I keep saying racism isn't dead just because it's 2018. They can't be overtly racist. If anyone's going to do anything racist, it's going to have to be subliminal. You know, no one's going to be overtly telling you you're less than, because it's going to result in a protest or a boycott or, you know what I mean, some kind of action. So the messaging has to be subliminal to keep the system in place. This is why, hot button topic that we talked about already, black people cannot be racist, because the subliminal messaging is there. It keeps the hierarchy in place. It's the strongest messaging system, if you ask me. Keep the hierarchy in place.
Black people can be racist, though.
No, we can't.
We can't be racist?
I think that's probably prejudice.
Prejudice is the word.
Not by definition.
So if I say I'm putting an example at a kid, don't come home with no Indian woman. What's that?
That's prejudice.
So what's racist?
As if,
you see, the two words are like, people interchange them too easy, you know?
Yeah, they
can. Listen, if
you're... Because someone looks in and say, hey, don't bring no Indian women home, they're going to say, hey, he's racist. They're not going to say I'm prejudiced.
No, well, it's a difference. Well, with me, I'm Irish and I'm Catholic, so there's a lot of sectarianism. So when someone refers to me as derogatory terms in relation to that, I don't say you're racist, I say you're sectarian. Or there's no need to be prejudiced in certain ways about stuff. But racism it's a thing, like I don't know.
Racism is a construct that's supported by power and access to resources. And as long as black people are in a position where we are not in power, you know, we can never shift that hierarchy. The very names of our races imply your position. You know, black, you associate null and void, and bad luck and evil and witchcraft and anything negative that you've ever associated with black. You know, it lacks, it's less than.
Mm-hmm.
You know, white is pure, it's clean, it's angelic, it's heavenly, it's good, it's white magic, that kind that you're allowed to do. Like, everything that's white is always associated with good things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
White sheep versus black sheep in the family. So anyway, that's a whole other tirade. Anybody want to send a voice note on this topic? You can go ahead and send it to me.
Yeah, send your voice note and your things to Lisa, and we'll play it to the best of our ability.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll eventually have a number, I promise you, that you can just call in and boom, everything will just work nice. But man, now that you said that about what do I think about the people who thought nothing was wrong with it, now you got me thinking. Like, what is wrong with them? Something is wrong with them because they had if they saw nothing wrong.
Well, the nicest thing to say about them is they're ignorant. Because how could you not think there's anything wrong with that? Like, there's a difference, like, in how you say something. You can be like, oh, they're cheeky little monkeys, as in your own children.
Yeah.
But that crossed a huge boundary. So people are saying, oh, my mom calls me a monkey. My mom calls me a lot worse than a monkey, basically that. But she wouldn't put it on a t-shirt and make me wear it.
You know what,
I guess it's done innocently. I'm not saying that
I seen on my Facebook timeline, after this whole fiasco, someone who's unaware of anything, they said her kid and another kid were on the bed, and it's two white kids, and they were saying, oh, look at the two cute little monkeys.
There's a difference, though. That's a mom calling your kids. If I said to your next door neighbor, oh, your little monkeys are in my driveway, that's not being positive.
So what if the mom called the little boy the monkey? Oh, you come here, my cutest little monkey.
That's fine, because it's always about how you say words. In my opinion, it's not the matter of the word, it's how you say it.
But then you're saying the shirt is fine. Is the shirt fine then?
No, because that's how it was meant.
See, okay, so this is it. When you call someone something as a term of endearment, that's between you and that person.
Yeah.
That's intimate, right? If me and my partner, if I call my partner shithead, that's a term of endearment between me and my partner. Nobody in a fuss and call my partner a shithead.
Yeah.
We'll fight for those things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's between me and them. When you're putting an image out, a picture says 1,000 words. The sweater says the coolest monkey in the jungle. And it's a little dark-skinned black boy.
Why didn't they swap the
And
shirts?
we know how black people have been portrayed for over 100 years in print media as monkeys, referred to as monkeys. In classes, people are told that we evolved from monkeys and white people from Neanderthals, as though, at least they came from some kind of human-related species.
I never heard of that.
Where we're related to the animal kingdom, What is this,
You know what the thing is? I think that is just the tone of today, right? And I think in political science, like there's this they have this continuum, right? So they have, liberal, conservative, right? And they're saying that the norm is somewhere in the middle. But the way how the tone has been set, like especially with like the Donald Trump election and certain other things, that norm has been shifted. All right. And since that norm is shifted, people will start seeing things that they may have struck out against before as the norm, right? So for instance, I was in the Tim Hortons, this is about a week ago. I was in the Tim Hortons and this guy walked in and I was talking to the lady and I said, how was your holidays? And she said it was good. And the guy was like, oh yeah, that's hardworking Linda, blah, blah, blah. And then he said, where's Sambo? Right? And he just so happened to be talking to the black guy that was working in the back. And he's like, oh, there he is working in the back, working hard for the owners. And I sat there and I'm thinking, this guy, how come he thinks that it's okay to say that? To me, like, I don't know what the hell he's saying, right? And that's why us brothers and sisters have to say, whoa. Like, you guys have to look at Sambo. You guys have to watch documentaries on the Black Panthers, like all kinds of things like that. There's a lot of things that are set out to distract us. And if we don't know our history, they could be being racist right in front of your face and you don't even know.
It's true.
It happens every day. It happens every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It happens every day. And I'm dark skinned, I have face there, you know, so, you know, like they're talking about, I've been around people and they're talking about, you know, blackness in a bad way, but I'm the only black one there in miles around, and you're kind of just stuck, you know, as much, I could be the asshole and say, what the fuck, and stand up for my rights.
I'd be like, sorry.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, you gotta check them, because I mean, I remember working at a workplace, and this I was talking to a white lady, and she was asking me about white privilege, and she's like, "What privilege do I get as a white person?" So I was like, "Okay, I have 2 degrees, and me and you sit in the same job." I'm like, "How much degrees do you have?" All she had was high school, and she just so happened to know the white boss, right? So I'm like, you notice all the black people here have multiple degrees. Like I probably had the least amount of degrees out of the other 2 black people that were there, and we just happened to be sitting beside, you know, our Caucasian brothers and sisters that only had high school diplomas, right? So, I mean, it's white privilege at its finest. Right?
Tony raised a good point. She said that not only that, but back in the day, they used to have black folks in zoo type environments, and people would walk around and stare at us like a spectacle.
Yeah, and in Europe they have those zoos, black zoos. Yo, imagine being in a zoo, people. As a free person right now, and you're in a zoo and they're just feeding you grits like one animal, yo, and you're just walking and people are petting your head and shit. Throwing you food here.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna drink grit.
Yo,
I don't even like damn fried chicken, yo. No watermelon for sure. None of that stereotypical stuff, man. They ain't gonna play me like that, you know?
Because this can be hard there. I completely accept these.
People have to listen. Some people like they treat blackness like it's a plague.
I know.
Like, so my mom was a maid when she came here for a wealthy family, white family, obviously. And she raised the kids, and you know, whatever, and it's done now. But they still have the relationship. So they invited my mother over to, you know, give her a present, whatever. And I came with her. So one of the children had kids now because they're older. So her little son walked over. He's about 4 or 5, white, blonde hair, blue eyes, came up, and he went to his mom, pointed at me, and said, "Mommy, what's wrong with his skin?" And this is like 2007, 8. And he's from BC, and said, "Mommy, what's wrong with his skin?" So he's telling me this little kid, 5 years in BC, has never seen, not even on TV, a black person. So
yeah, I guess some people live in segregated communities, but like
they are well off. They're well off.
But wow.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
To think that could be in 2018.
No, but that's the thing. That's why you have to actively teach your kids not to discriminate, right?
Yeah.
I was driving in my car. I picked up my son. My son lives in London, right? And we were driving back, and one time my son said, "Yo, I don't know, we're listening to something on the radio," and he said, "Hey, that's gay," right? And I said, you know, like I said, you know that what you just said was homophobic, right? And I said, I don't care what is. I don't want you discriminating against anybody, whether it's race, color, you know what I'm saying, sexual orientation or whatever. I don't want him just because I'm like, you're gonna lose out on a lot of opportunities hating on people when you have no business but to just, you know, take care of yourself and do what you gotta do as a person, right? And I had to kind of teach him that lesson, right? Because like I said, I grew up in the hood, so we did things that screwed us over a lot, and we did a lot of ignorant things we didn't have to do, and some of it resulted in court cases, charges, and just lost opportunities altogether. So, you know, I tell them, yo, focus on schoolwork. You don't have to worry about nothing else, you know?
So in this whole thing, and Lisa Calderon just asked, she said, would any of us put the child in the ad for $2 million? So if it comes down to money.
No.
No? 2 million, Lisa?
No.
Honestly, if I was putting my
I love you,
$2 million.
if I was putting my children in that type of ad, it would be for some kind of future long-term gain. Like I would want to be on Good Morning America. I would be so hurt. I would be like, you know what? I struggled with the thing the whole time, but I didn't know what to do because my agent was saying that I was overreacting and I doubted myself. And I just want to thank the weekends. And I just want to thank Sean Puffy Combs for coming through for me and for my family and showing this love.
So you take the 2 million.
Listen, it would be like total mastermind. Like I'm gonna have all these other endorsements and TV
just
shows.
lined up, yeah.
Let's just do a movie about it and just like talk about it, okay?
Now, Jason, really, you wouldn't take the 2 million.
Monetize it.
You would take it. You know you could do it 2 million.
I'll take the 2 million.
Because I take the 2 million. I'm not gonna lie.
I didn't know. I
Yo,
think
I
I would.
wouldn't do it. But if I did do it, I would not just want the 2 million. I would have like a whole bunch of other stuff in mind.
Nah, I take the 2 million and donate to the NAACP. Yeah.
That's what you do?
Or
I lie at you.
give a 1-2 scholarship story, you know?
You can do it? No. I could do it. I don't know. 2 million, I'll do like Lisa said though, you gotta put on the show.
It's different.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you're,
yeah.
Oh man, you know.
No, it's different if you're selling yourself for 2 million, but your kids. So you're basically teaching your kids. Doesn't matter what you do, if it's right or wrong, as long as you get a paycheck at
But
the
$2
end of it.
million, $2 million.
For me, yes, I would do
justified
everything on
No.
myself, but not my kids. No.
No, but okay, we know that the lady got paid, or the child's mom got paid less than $2 million, right?
Yeah.
The biggest problem is we're thinking, yo, what's the mom saying, right? So even if the mom got the money, if the mom said, oh man, I didn't know that they were gonna do this, or I didn't, whatever, then we would have been A-okay with it, right? So if she had gotten 2 million, it was all a response. My response would be like, yeah, I know that's wrong. I didn't realize how wrong it was until the backlash came out, but now I see, yeah, that's totally wrong. But I'm $2 million richer, and you know what? It'll take me out the hood. not I'm in the hood, but it'll take me to a different level, and I'll be able to bring people up. So if I create a business and I start hiring people out of my neighborhood, then guess what? I'm actually doing more, even though, you know, I may have had to like kind of, you know, sacrifice a little bit of integrity to get 2 million.
That's what Lloyd just said. Lloyd said, you know, you'd do it and you'd help black people, basically.
There you go. See, I knew Lloyd was a real G.
But speaking of Lloyd, on the flip side, he's the type now. So you see how you told your kids, you know, you don't be
homophobic.
Yeah. With certain black people, they are not homophobic. I wouldn't describe black people as homophobic, but like it's just not accepted.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel about that?
Well, that's the thing, right? Like with me personally, like that cause is not my cause, right? So I'm not championing that movement. The only thing is I don't want my kid learning behaviors that are discriminatory. So my primary thing is to grow up my kids, right? Secondly, if I'm to pick a cause, my plight is to get the young black male youth educated in Toronto and get them off of the street stuff that I had to go through. Like I've been through some real street shit. Like I got stabbed 7 times and all the rest of that. So that's my cause, right? Mm-hmm. One time somebody asked me this because they had a conference on homophobia in the black community, and they asked me if I was going, and I said, I'm not going. Mm-hmm. And then they tried to call me homophobic, and I said, no. Once I can only concentrate on what I know, right? So, and I try not to speak on things that I'm not an expert in. So if I'm not an expert in the gay struggle, then I can't speak on that, right? And I can't take up that cause because we still have young black youth in the inner city dropping out of school left, right, and center. So I gotta concentrate on that. But you could stop your kid from learning discriminatory behaviors, and that's what we gotta do. sometimes it doesn't. You don't have to tell them something's right or wrong. You can just say, listen, this is not for you to discuss. You know what I'm saying? Concentrate on doing what you're doing. Do your schoolwork.
Instead of
feel me? Instead of talking about what's gay or what's not gay. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good approach. I like that.
Yeah.
Instead of saying what's gay or not gay, speak about something else.
Exactly.
And focus on that.
Yep.
Denise asked why we think the mother was okay with it. Do we want to speculate?
She said she was okay with it.
The mother, why?
The money.
It's all about
the money. Denise, it's all about the money, man. Shit. Yo, pay me. Fuck you, pay me.
You don't think it could have been like part of a situation where it's like she doesn't even see anything wrong with the verbiage? Because this is a British ad. You know, there's a whole other level of...
No, they knew rightly.
Yeah.
You know what the thing is? Like, it's H&M, right? So... looking at I can look at what I got paid to be in a feature film. I got about 10 grand. I was on set for 2 days, and my part was probably combined about five minutes. And I got 10 grand just for that. So can you imagine your child being in an H&M ad? The money must have been good.
Blessed,
it must have been blessed, especially for them to put it out like that.
Yeah.
She probably got at least a good 50, 60. Who knows? She could have probably got more than that, right?
Yeah, yeah. Anyways, time to move on. Next, so speaking of the British, where you said the British.
Yeah.
So now this whole, people, you know about the Ginuwine issue? Big Brother
UK.
Oh, right, yeah.
Big Brother UK.
UK.
And Ginuwine and this whole transgender issue. And he made a comment. I forget what the comment was.
He didn't make a comment. What happened was there was a video of the Big Brother house, and they're all chilling in the backyard. And basically they're talking about transgender relationships. So there's a transgender lady in the house. I think her name's India or Indigo. I think Indigo maybe. And they were having a conversation, and Ginuwine was asked in that conversation, would he have a relationship with a transgender lady? His response was, I got no issue with that. Personally, I wouldn't. So it got a lot of media attention on this side of the water about it because they're saying he's transphobic and blah, blah, and he's taking a lot of hate for it. When realistically, in my opinion, he entered the Big Brother house. He's chilling with this person on the couch beside him. I personally don't think he's transphobic at all. That's just my opinion.
I don't think he's transphobic.
No.
That's a strong word too. It's transphobic is the same thing like homophobic, right?
Yeah.
Like you're actually frightened.
Yeah, a phobia defined as an irrational fear.
Yeah.
I don't think he's afraid. More so, he was just cautious, and maybe overly cautious.
No, not even.
Because because in his genre right now, R&B, and especially his era, Bobby Valentino has been messed up twice now. I don't know if it's a mess up or that's what his choice is, but Bobby Valentino, an R&B singer from that era, from that time, has been, I guess, caught with two transgenders, two separate.
Yeah. Actually, sorry, I forgot to add to the story. It wasn't that he said no, it was the lady Dan went to do this to give him a kiss, and he pulled away.
Yeah.
Oh, so she went to kiss.
So she went to kiss him, and that was sort of what started.
So she was like, knowing that I'm transgendered, you would still date me, right? And he was like, no. And she's, but you would kiss me, right? And then she leaned in for a kiss and he pulled away.
And he pulled. Yeah. See, he was being cautious. I think it's because of that whole Bobby Valentino thing too. He doesn't want that pressure. It's a lot of pressure. Bobby Valentino's going to hell right now.
I get that, but did anyone watch the video?
I watched the video.
Actually seen the video too.
What did you think of it?
I will tell you, see, I feel like the whole transphobic discussion is a smoke screen for the real issue. Like right now, we're in the Me Too era, right?
Me Too.
In terms of a lot of women, right, have been sexually abused, assaulted, or thing by a lot of these guys in Hollywood. Lest we forget, Terry Crews he came forward, and how come we don't hear anything about Terry Crews's incident with one of those Hollywood producers? Now, my whole thing is that I wouldn't want to kiss somebody that I didn't want to kiss at all. Like even if it's a girl, like you know what I'm saying? So it's a thing where like I feel like how come we're not talking about the fact that it was an unwanted, unconsented sexual advance on gender?
Unwanted.
Exactly my point.
And that's the thing. So I don't
right?
I wouldn't. Yeah. Before we discuss transphobia, we need to discuss sexual assault, because to me, he was sexually assaulted live on TV, but nobody's gonna say nothing because they're more concentrated on him saying he wouldn't date somebody that's trans, right? And I do have other issues with that, because you know I remember somebody made a post and they were posting about whether or not transgendered males or females should disclose that they're trans, right? And I remember saying that, listen, you know, like, let's say I want to have kids, right? If you know that you're not capable of having kids, that's something that I would like disclosed. If you were jobless, right? A lot of women will date these guys. Probably they may ask you, yo, listen, do you have a job? And if you don't have a job, they don't want to date you. Like, so that's the thing. I don't think that is discriminatory. I think it's just about preference, right? He just prefers not to date somebody that's trans. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like you're sexually assaulted, so that's
why. I watched it, and to me, like, I'm not a hugger, right? I hate hugs. I'm not a hugger. So Ginuwine's reaction is the exact same as mine if someone tries to hug me with me not wanting to hug.
Right.
So it wasn't that it was rude. Like, it was like he sort of like backed off and was like, yeah, right. Like, I didn't see nothing at all with it. But the thing that no one else caught was her reaction. She didn't take it seriously either. She didn't think he was being homophobic or transphobic. She didn't take nothing off it. She laughed it off the same way, like, if Big J went to hug me now and I get off me, doesn't mean that I don't want to hug Big J, or, you know, I'm a feminist and I don't think men should hug me. You know what? There was no reason. And when I watched cause I watched it a few times on different things, one thing I thought was neither one of those guys actually had an issue with it.
No, but she did say after that hug, she's like, oh, this right here is a prime example of, you know, my struggle, right? Or the plight of somebody that's trans. And then she proceeded to actually walk off the set.
So she started the whole thing. She started the whole thing.
Okay, well, from what I saw, she didn't do that. So my bad.
Hey, Joe just said they're victim blaming.
Yeah.
Victim, yeah, you're right, Joe. They're victim blaming, essentially, yeah.
But I can say that I did some research because with being Irish, a lot of our newspapers are similar to the UK ones. So I did go online and have a look at it. And it is not mentioned, not once, in any UK or Irish papers, websites, nothing. It took over to North America and it's the issue here. But it's not an issue anywhere in Ireland or the UK. No one even brought it up.
Yeah, Tony was agreeing with us also that he didn't consent.
Right.
It makes sense though. Now I'm seeing all these viewpoints. You know, you form your own thing and your own judgments, but when you actually look and really look at things, the truth just comes to light. You know?
I just don't understand why people's preference is always being automatically equated to a phobia. That's my problem. You know, it's like negatively attack this person because they didn't participate in something that he has a right not to. You know, let's say he met somebody in the house that he's trying to put it to on the lows.
He actually is.
Oh, see, you know.
So he met a
story bus. There is a girl. I read that on the tabloids from back home. There is somebody that
story bus.
So he has somebody there.
He does.
And they're trying to bust it.
That could have been one.
Manuals of the OGs.
What's wrong with these people, yo?
Game. She tried to block his game.
That could have been it, because he is.
What if she
Ginuwine was the boy, you know? Yo, when Ginuwine came out, light skin nigga, they won. Light skin man won.
I was just trying to watch it in the summer.
Yo, when Ginuwine came out, it was a sad day for us dark skinned brothers. I'm telling you, it was sad. Like we just went wrong.
Yeah.
Light skin went whoop. You know what I mean?
It's all right. When Wesley Snipes stabbed Christopher Williams in the hand in New Jack City.
Oh yeah.
Light-skinned guys were done after that. Yeah. We didn't recover for like 10, 15 years. So.
But Ginuwine killed it. I can't lie with Pony and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was a good R&B era, you know?
Yeah, it was. They just kind of rolled it out a little too long. If you ask me. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. What do y'all think about that Cardi B Bruno Mars trade?
I've never heard of it, I don't think.
Dope.
Yeah.
Cardi B, Bruno Mars?
Yeah.
That's a good collab.
Yeah.
No, it sounds hella 90s. Like, I listen to that every day.
Yeah.
It's super throwback.
Yeah?
See, I liked Cardi B when she had like 10,000 followers. Now I'm like, you guys still like her back then.
I didn't.
I've always liked her.
I've never liked her. I don't know if I still do.
I thought she was cute.
I just like her.
She's cute.
I just liked her videos with no makeup, her in a towel and she's wilding about something. It's hilarious.
I just always admired how authentic she was.
Yeah, that's
Very
really
authentic.
Always just
real.
her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just raw, just her.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
She would be in a bath towel with her hair up and she'd be going on a rant about someone that she met that day and she'd be going wilding for like.
I want to meet your Cardi B. If you're watching this, this is the circle, and we want to meet you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We want to see what's up with this Cardi B. I don't get it. I don't. I know she's visually appealing.
Yeah.
Visually appealing. You know what I'm saying? But
you know what I like about Cardi B? She got a little bit of Caribbean in her still.
She does?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. She's like half Trini or something. So
it's all like
that gives everybody a pass.
Yeah.
Right away.
You know, this Caribbean things, Rihanna. Rihanna look thick and nice, man. Thick. What up, Riri? We see you too, Riri. We love you. Anyways, so we did the H&M, we did Ginuwine, and next we have, drumroll please.
Oh, the one from Joe that I want to play.
Joe has a voice. Oh, sorry, Joe. Hold on, Joe. We're in a different location today, so the sound, we just got to figure it out. 1 second. One second.
Bluetooth paired. Big bug for you.
All right. Joe Hoskins.
Racist H&M ad thing. I think the two sides of the argument come from this notion that we live in a post-racial society. There is a growing number of people who believe that racism is over. Like, that's been addressed in the 60s, and now it's over. No one has to deal with racism anymore. It just doesn't exist. And this is where you get the people who say things like, oh, you're just race baiting, you're virtue signaling, you're SJW. Like, and it's not just white people. It's not just Tommy Loren or the alt-right, or, you know, like, they've convinced black people that this is the case. Like, it's the bootstraps argument constantly, when people will literally ignore the racism that's put right into their faces.
That's true. That's true. You know, I like that. People actually, there is some people that actually believe that racism's gone.
It's true.
Like, there's no more racism. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Do you think racism's?
Yeah, you know what?
It's not gone. It can never be gone.
I'll tell you, like, I had a discussion with one of my friends in college, this white guy, and I was talking about racism and things such as that, and he gave me the whole race baiting spiel and all of that. And I spoke to him the other day because he owns a business right down the street from where I live. And he said, yo, the one thing that you taught me is that racism is real. And he's like, I rebutted when you said it when we were in college, but now that I'm a business owner, I realize how real racism is. So sometimes, you know, sometimes they may not catch on right away, but as long as you just stand your ground, and I tell people all the time, don't be afraid to check your coworkers. Check them, yo. If you let it slide, then you might as well have said it yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or you might as well just wear the coon name tag. You know what I'm saying?
People will only do what you let them do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I checked the police officer on being racist. I think it was on a post where when you were last thing you were drunk. So I was drunk, and the police officer being racist, and he was doing illegal stops. So I called the police on him.
You called the police on?
I called the yes, I called the cops on a cop.
You called the cops on the cops? That don't work. That don't
I'm
work.
Irish. I've never called the cops in my life, but I called the cops on a cop. And you know what? He got told to get the fuck away from where he was going. He was being racist to my Uber guy. He was just being a total jerk to everybody. He was pulling over anybody who wasn't white. I was in McDonald's drive-thru, by the way, and he was doing a red program in McDonald's, which is illegal. So I told McDonald's, there's a cop in the driveway, he's not allowed to be there, whatever. So the cop didn't listen. He was a little dick. So I called and I said, listen, you guys have a cop who's doing illegal ride programs. I will go to court for anybody he pulls over for drink driving to say he was illegally parked. He should not have been doing this protocol, and he's a racist fuck. So the cop on the phone was trying to pacify me a little bit, and then the next minute you seen the guy with his wee radio, and he gets in his car and drives right off. Literally, McDonald's was that slow, by the way, that I was there for that whole frigging process.
Where was this?
Queen and 410 in Brampton.
In Brampton?
Yeah.
Shoot.
The thing was, I was drunk and I was making my own business. Yeah.
No, I'm saying.
No, but I was.
No deal.
Yeah, I was drunk driving my own business in the back of the car, and he pulled over my Uber guy, and he was so. I don't even know what he said to him, but it picked me up, and I said, "What did you just say to the Uber guy?" And he started being like, using like racist, but don't worry about you in the back. And I said, "Hold on a minute, don't talk to the guy like that." And then the Uber guy was like, eventually, he was like, "You are crazy." Like when he got me home, he says, "Thank you very much." He says, "No one ever really sticks up," and and I told the cop, I was like, "How do you know he's an Uber guy? Fuck off." Like, how do you know he's an Uber guy?
No lies. Joe said only white folks can do that.
Probably, you're right.
Not one lie.
Not one lie. I'm not telling you, I'm Irish Catholic from Belfast. So if I get pulled over by the cops, I don't get away. I'm in there for a day or two for no reason, just because I'm an Irish Catholic. So that's probably why I can understand a little bit more about discrimination and stuff. And that's why I know white privilege is a real thing, because that is for it. When I get pulled over for speeding tickets, you bet your bottom dollar I don't walk away with the ticket because the cop's like, "Oh, it's okay, she's Irish," whatever. I play that fully. But in Ireland, when I was there recently, I was driving a little grandma, like when I was in Ireland. So best believe it's a thing. But you're right, it probably wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, I lived in Scotia for 3 years, and there was 1 month I got pulled over every single solitary day for an entire month. And I was always on my way to work, so I was dressed in a suit and tie.
And that's when they want to pull you over?
Yeah, and it was, at one point, I went to a black cop, and I said, "Hey, brother, I'm getting pulled over every single solitary day. They're making me late for work, right? Like, I don't know why they're doing this." And he said, "Give me your name." He said, "Give me your name and your license plate." He gave my name and my license plate, and I never got pulled over after that. So thanks to that cop, thanks to Constable Williams, like you helped out with that one still.
Really?
Yeah, real talk, man.
You know what they do? Label and they do like. I remember meeting a friend at the plaza. I was dropping off a little, present. It wasn't it wasn't a big present. It was a small present, between friends. And as soon as I give him the present,
the cherries.
the cherries all over the place. And they told me they've been following me since I was just walking toward the plaza. They've been following me since then because I look suspicious, right? And then he said, "What do you got in your hand? What do you got in your hand?" I'm like, "Yo, nothing. It's just a little present." And I showed him the present. And the man said, "Oh, you thought you were one of the guys that had all the guns and the coke. Where's the guns and where's the coke? Sorry, I gotta do this. I'm gonna handcuff you for a second and put you in the back, but don't worry, we're gonna let you go."
No, but see, you don't even have to allow them to do that. A, and B, right? Sometimes you do have to even get at these police officers. I lived at Bayview and 401, right? So if you know that area is a rich area. Like across the street from where I live, the house is $6 million, right? My daughter lived not too far from there. The house she lives in is worth about $2 million. And I remember that's when I was going to university. So I remember going to the bus stop. I had my book bag, and everything. And one cop pulled me over, and then like 7 more cop cars showed up, and they said I just so happened to look like a suspect. So I said, okay, what was the description of suspect? They said a white hat and a black jacket. So I'm like, they didn't tell you whether the suspect was black or white. I'm like, and if there's really a suspect, you guys are really wasting your time. And then I went forward and said, yo, listen, I got stuff to do. Like, I'm trying to like get my life on track, because then at that point I still had a criminal record. I'm like, I'm trying to get my life on track, and you guys are just trying to embarrass me in front of my neighbors.
Yeah, basically.
Because it doesn't take 7 cops for you guys to get out.
That's some bullshit. I would have defended that. That was some bullshit.
And that's the thing. So I kind of like ate their food. And it's funny because I seen a couple of the cops later on, and I said, yeah. One of the cops said, yo, you don't remember when you pulled me over? And I said, yo, guess what? I got my pardon. So next time you guys pull me over, you guys won't even see a record at all. You know what I'm saying? So, you know how it goes.
Actually, back to that, I just remembered, you know, like, because it was like, but I was on the phone. The guy wasn't knew what color it was.
Yeah.
All right, so this voice note's from Moose. Thank you.
What up, Moose?
Hey, Moose.
Get you turned up.
Excuse me. So, I heard music, so I have to speak on it. That Bruno Mars remix with Cardi, it takes it back to the early 90s. Like, I'm talking like J-Lo dancing as a fly girl on a little rooftop, like on Living Color. That shit takes it way back.
Yep.
And that's what the music game has been missing. And I can actually rate Cardi B for spitting a hot verse on it. Because I'm not a big fan of hers. But that shit that she spat on that song, and then the whole entire video, the setup and everything, it was proper.
Tight work.
It takes it back to like Jim Carrey and Fire Marshal Bill days, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes,
thanks,
Moose.
Respect.
Yo, Cardi did this one move in that video, and I'm like, I'm in love with Cardi B.
Yeah.
It was just a little move that she just did the little, and I was like, damn, girl. Yeah, man.
I have to watch Cardi B.
Yeah.
All right, so now, we did H&M, we did Ginuwine, we've done back and forth with Cardi B.
Yeah.
But now we have one more issue.
Yeah.
We got one more issue, people.
Yeah.
One more.
This one's kind of dicey.
This one's dicey. So, take your attention down south, Jacksonville, Florida. 19-year-old, what was her name? Ariana Johnson, I think it was. And Orion Johnson, whatever. And she paid an event planner $300. $300
as a deposit.
For her 1-year-old birthday party. Unfortunately, the party never happened because everybody got murdered, right? Then the mother went to the event planner and said, you know what, things are tight, boy. You know, we didn't have no life. You know, this, that. Can we please have the $300 deposit back? And then the event planner said, no.
Deposit.
Yo! I don't know. That irks me still. 300, yo!
It was a week later.
A week later?
It was a week later. That has to be factored in. I mean, personally, if I have a business and you're paying me to do something, do you know my personality type is not going to let me just sit down and drag my feet when someone's paying me to do something, especially where I get to express myself creatively. I'm going to be thinking about all the color schemes that I want and how I want to portray it and how I can mix like mediums and what I can afford and where I can shop. And I'm going to start shopping for fabric and getting ideas down on paper. And I'm going to be shopping in that week. You know?
Out of your pocket. Well,
she gave a $300
deposit, but yeah, but she's running the business.
Right? So I would have already, if it was me, a week, within 2 days, I've already spent your deposit. And I've probably already fronted money out my pocket. Because when I start working on something visual, I do event planning on the side. When I start planning an event, I start ordering, I start piecing things together, I get fabric, I get ideas together, and I start putting things into action right away. because my creative juices, once it starts flowing, I have to run with it. That's where the inspiration comes from.
Now, I understand that. Your business, you spent the money, you bought whatever, this, that. But these are some like extenuating circumstances. Like your whole people who gave you the money are now dead. They're dead.
And what I'm saying is the money's already spent.
Not true.
Like if I bought
So
if I bought a pair of like leather boots from Aldo that were on clearance, and these are lambskin leather, original price is like $700. I get them for half price. I get them for $350, right? Or browns, whatever the case is. I get them for $350, but they're on clearance. And if I die tomorrow, you can't bring those back to Browns. They're not taking it back.
I know, but look, see,
they don't care about the circumstances.
The shoes is good. Joe, big up. He said there's a human element to consider. The human, you got to be human, man.
There's a human element, but she's still a business person.
But
if that money is spent, that money is spent. Now you're asking her to donate $300 from her pocket.
To donate, that's the
because that money is already spent. That's what I'm saying. I would have already spent that money and then some in a week. A week.
See, my thing is, who spends approximately $1,000 US on a 1-year-old's birthday party?
Oh, I would.
No, yeah, no, they do. They do.
Okay, well, in my opinion, you can afford $1,000, then you obviously got the money lying around. Someone does. I get the funerals are costly, but if you're
my kids' birthday parties, I go out for my kids' birthday. If I didn't spend the money, I would give it back. But if I had already spent it, I would be happy to make a donation.
Yeah, there's a
to help, but to try to force me to give you back $300.
You're right. The promoter advised them that the deposit is
non-refundable, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're just being greedy then trying to get a fly off with a sympathy or empathy card.
Yeah, they're totally trying.
They probably, not to be a dick, there's that many GoFundMe pages. They probably wanted a GoFundMe page for 20, 30 grand to pay for everything and to do. Not to be funny, like there's just a lot of people out there, and any excuse for, like, I bet you if you went online right now, there's a GoFundMe page.
There's a Circle GoFundMe page.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Come support the Circle, you know.
I feel, I'll tell you, like I said, I do believe that there is a human element to it. I believe that in certain situations, don't wait till somebody asks you for something, right? So for instance, let's say, I knew somebody was going to come to me for a donation of some sort or whatever. Before that even happens, I'd send the money. Because if you're a business owner, yes, the $300 is probably spent. But the bad publicity in itself, right, is going to affect your bottom line. So as a business owner, the right thing to do would be to say, yo, here's a $300 deposit, because you don't want that to affect any future filings. From what I read in the article, she's been receiving death threats and all kinds of stuff. And I guarantee that her client base has probably fell off. There may have been some people that wanted to go with her, and now they think, oh, she's all about, I guess, the money. She can give back $300. You know what it's almost like? It's like a man owes me $300. Do I kill him for $300?
No.
How's that gonna look? Right? So it's just a thing where, if you're a business owner, $300 is not that much bread for you to break off. But I do want to make a point, and this is one of my biggest issues with my community, right? Is that Black people, we really need to start taking out life insurance plans.
Yes.
I have a life insurance plan.
So do I.
If I pass, my kids are well taken care of. GoFundMe is not insurance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, you could get insurance from any company. There's companies where you can get insurance from them without even having to do a medical. But please start planning that out, because something could happen to you, right? And about 1.5 years ago, I fell sick, right? I thought they were testing me for cancer and everything. I lost a bag of weight. I thought I was gonna die, right? And the one thing that was thinking in my head was, shucks, if I'm to die right now, what do these kids have?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That's true.
After that, I said, nah, I'm gonna take out an insurance plan. Like I said, I found a good company that will do it. I didn't have to do the medical, even the ailment that I have doesn't really affect insurance plans because I guess the mortality rate with it is only about 5%. So I was able to get a good rate. And every month I pay for that insurance plan. So if you got kids, man,
You gotta think about it.
yo, go get some life insurance, please. I beg you.
Yo, big up Mommy Edwards. I love you. That was my wedding present for my mother.
You see what I'm saying?
So
That's
my
a
mother
good
has
mom.
life insurance on me, but my wedding present for my mother was like this life insurance policy. She actually showed me the papers, and there's room now for my spouse and my children.
Yeah.
But it's a nice policy. And that was my wedding present for my mother. And I big her up for that because as much as like he said, I wasn't even thinking about it. I didn't even think about it. I just assumed when I die things taken care of. No, my mom showed me the papers, showed me how much this, that, and I was like, wow, you know, life insurance people get it. You know what I mean? Like it's no joke out there.
Serious thing, man.
I just wanted to go back to one of the comments because somebody was saying that as an event planner, she should have a connection with her vendors to get the money back, but we don't know what type of event planner she is.
No, we don't know
or how off the how off the ground her business is because like I do events on the side, but I'm not an event planner, you know, so I don't have like relationships with vendors where I could get money back. I'm spending because I'm buying things, and I'm buying them usually either online or at some kind of like I'm gonna buy stuff that are on discount because I want to stay within budget. You know what I mean?
You know what it is? It's the media. They're using that 300.
Yeah.
Because every article you look, every video, the first thing you see is they're not even getting back the $300.
Right.
Not the principal. Not that it was non-refundable.
Right.
Not that she can afford it or whatever. Just they say $300. So I guess everybody in their head thinking, I can afford $300. Why can't she?
Right. I just don't agree with it looking like she has to. You know what I mean? She should just do it. If she's gonna do it, she should just do it. But the whole idea of her arguing with the family and the family being like they're demanding it, that's the part I don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like if I died and someone's like, okay, here's her shampoos, Mark Anthony, you have to give us back our money because she died and isn't going to use it. So we're so Mark like, get the fuck out with your Mark Anthony. You know what I mean? So I get it, and I know I said like I'm on the event planner side, I'm not really, but you don't know if it could be their first gig as a event planner, they could have just started up, or they could be in financial difficulty themselves, and they could be in the red. And $300 to a lot of people is a lot of money.
Right.
It's not, you know, and I get this family have 3 people to bury, which is horrible. But not everyone has $300, you know?
It's true.
It's true. All right. So people, anybody call in with Lisa if you got any comments about this, about the, you know, the event planner having a $300 deposit. It's non-refundable, remember. And then the mother of the deceased children she's asking for the deposit back to assist with the funeral. So, Lisa.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, people, listen up. Dun, 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 dun. Yo. Everybody who's here, go call them, call your brethren, call your sister. Oh no, you got a voice note? No. You got call your brethren, call your sister, call everybody. All those in the danger room, squad up, call them. You know what I mean? Call them, because it's about that motherfucking time for the Danger Room Report.
Yo.
Brought to you by Lisa Dainjah.
All right, somebody tag my baby Shine, please.
Tag up Shine. Oh, Shine, where you there?
Shine, quote.
I don't want to misquote, and I know that Shine really enjoys when things are reported on accurate.
Yo, shout out to Shine though, still, man.
Yeah, cool, you know? So last week was another eventful week in the Danger Room. There was another get-together that was organized in the day. This get-together was held at Shine's house. This was not a circle event. This was a Shine event. And Shine had an unexpected guest who was a circle member. He was a member of the regular circle, and he was a member of the Danger Room. Well, this member attended because he received the address for the home that the party was being held at after being told not to come by more than one person, including the host, who sent a message through none other but me. So, you know, I relayed the message and I told this young man he's not to come, and yet we get a message when we're at the home, I'm outside. So long story short, he comes. And he's a little on the green side.
Fresh.
The opposite of fresh.
Man was fresh.
Like not zestfully clean.
I'm on a different wavelength on that one. All right.
He's sour. The man trekked to the Gideon, you know.
And I don't know what struggles the man's going through because he walked quite a great distance to get to the party. So, okay, some people want to feel a sense of connection. But long story short was his presence was requested to cease for the night. And he did not want to leave the residence. So some kerfuffle did kick up. And essentially, once he was outside, he created a bigger confefe over a bottle of Kelly's.
Kelly's! Yo, the man brought Kelly's!
I don't even know what
Were you there?
It's a
Yeah, I was there, man.
Yeah.
The man brought cooking wine in that.
I don't do the Jane and Shepherd thing.
$6.58 probably, not even $7.
Oh, I don't even know.
You know, I understand you're gonna bring what you're gonna afford and whatever. Yo, even it would have been better if you brought like a 1-2 crest, you know, or fast.
Yeah.
But not
Or
cooking
nothing.
or nothing.
Yeah, not the cooking oil.
Man
Not the
brought
cooking, well, it may as well be oil because this is like gasoline, like gasoline.
Was it Kelly's event? It was Kelly's event.
Yeah.
Man brought yo, dog, that's for rum cake, son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No lies. But we were
I
like
think the
13,
last
14.
one right now,
That's when we used to drink Kelly's because it was cheap. That and Triple X sherry.
Yeah,
that's
Triple
like
X. Yo, even if
13,
you-
14. Like,
Triple X, he
if
could
you're a grown ass man and you're drinking Kelly's, there's a problem. You know what I'm saying?
So this is part of the reason that he was asked to leave, because it was obvious that, you know, everybody's there to have a good time, but he was just not in his right state of mind to even be with anybody. So part of the concern is a man's safety for himself.
Yeah.
Because things were just not sitting well, you know? And then
yeah, hold on. I want to take a sip too. I want to take a sip too.
She took the tea.
a cab is called for him. He gets in the cab, he leaves, and then he comes back.
So he's
He
mad.
came back.
He came back
mad. He got
defending the bottle of Kelly's.
That he wants it?
Came back defending it, yes, that he wanted.
You hear that, people? The man came
Was
back
he
first
back
thing
for it?
after.
So,
You gave him money for the who gave
no, there was an offer to EMT him.
to EMT him money for a cab?
Yeah. So, you know, this took up a lot of conversation in the Danger Room, because if you haven't been to the Danger Room, people just going to tell you how it is on a situation. So this whole thing unraveled, and there have just been some bringings up on, you know, what's appropriate behavior at a party in terms of hygiene and conduct.
What's proper? Yo,
and
if you're coming to
even have to be saying them things.
exactly. Exactly.
You know, if you're coming to someone's home,
Babe.
why?
Or somebody Shoppers Drug Mart and spray shit on you and sleeves.
Bring an extra pair of socks if you know that you're going to be walking long distances to get where you're going. But nonetheless, I appreciate the love, because all that means is that circle people just want to get together and live love in New Zealand.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, so on that note, the next get together, because nothing else now going in the Danger Room that I'm going to bring up at this point in time, because yeah, it's not like that serious. So the next get together, I'm so excited. Is everybody excited?
No.
Okay. So I want to have it at a venue, not at my home, because I'm opening up to more of you. And I love everybody. It's just there's 4,000 people in the group, so I can't have an open invitation party at my home, knowing that I've invited close to 4,000 people. So, the next event that we have planned is the lingerie and gray sweatpants edition. Gray sweatpants and lingerie.
Gray sweatpants and lingerie?
I already bought my gray sweatpants. I'm good.
The little boy. The little boy.
Okay. No one said which sex had to wear which.
She's
you guys
right.
just gotta, go with it.
She's right. That is the loophole.
Mm-hmm.
Men can wear lingerie.
Yo.
He wasn't expecting that. Men can wear lingerie and women can wear gray sweatpants.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I want everybody to be comfortable. This is not going to be the sort of thing where you have to come and be uncomfortable. If a t-shirt and jogging pants are your lingerie, come through. I just want to have like an old school pajama jammy jam, essentially. But I sweet it up and call it the gray sweatpants and lingerie edition because we're grown folks now.
So a circle pajama jam.
Basically.
Whoa.
Slumber party.
Hold on, let me get
It's
It's gonna be games. The planning committee is all geared up and ready to go. There'll be more information for you next week.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. Fitz.
Yeah, that sounds like it's gonna be lit.
He's been to all my get-togethers, but you know.
I gotta do some push-ups. I'm gonna get an extra tape, Marina, to put underneath the other shirt so I look kind of chiseled. Yeah, man, trust me, I'll be there.
If you haven't been to one of my get-togethers, you don't want to miss it.
And I'm usually the games guy still, so
Games?
it's gonna get lit.
Adult games. Adult games. Yeah, so anyway, planning committee, I see you, Alicia. Thank you, planning committee, for checking in.
Yeah.
Thank you all for rocking with us one more week.
Yeah.
Week 18 of Talk the Tingz.
Talk the Tingz.
Yeah.
Yo.
There was more going on in the Dainjah room, though. Hold on.
None of it's irrelevant.
None of it's relevant.
A lot of this.
There was other stuff going on, but we ain't giving that stuff life. Yes,
Yeah.
I did see a nice post about natural beauty, and there was some beautiful circle women that had put their photos out.
In the group?
No, in the Dainjah
Oh,
group.
the Dainjah.
Yeah. There was some interesting posts in the main group talking about mommy bodies, but I want to bring that up next week.
Next week. The mamas, come on, bring the sexy mommy bodies.
Guys, I got invited to a circle party, didn't I, Lisa?
You did get invited to a circle party. We went to one on Friday.
We did. I was super excited.
I wasn't invited to a circle party.
It wasn't a circle party. It was a circle members
It was
party.
the circle members that invited Lisa, and then I got invited.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So thanks, Gideon, for inviting me.
It was fun.
It was fun.
And now we call Orla chubby. Okay, so if you hear me call her chubby,
it's a joke. I'm telling you.
it's not.
I'm joking.
Well, it's not because she's overweight, obviously, because she's not. And it's chubby because it was her first time having, the little soda pops for kids, chubbies.
Oh, chubbies, yeah.
So every time she had a shot, she would chase it with a chubby. So, Jamaican people, once they give you a name, it's stuck, right?
Stuck, yeah.
So, 5 minutes later, Chubby, come here. What are you doing, Chubby? Next thing you know, it's just like her name was Chubby for the whole night.
Chubs.
I got to be male as well.
Sammy's asking if you can wear a snowsuit.
Is that what you call it?
Sammy, is that where you went to bed?
Sammy, if you were about to get down first,
you would bring it, but you're going to be hot, so you may get stripped.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
And then you'll be in lingerie.
Whoa. It won't be me, but you might. I can just say, sometimes when I ask, things happen.
Whoa.
In other words, you're drunk.
Yeah, I don't know if I can go to them party. Yeah.
Anyway, I just want to thank y'all for rocking with us one more week.
Thank you, everybody.
This is Fitz again.
Fitz Reid on the outro. Thank you, everybody. Top the Tingz. You know what I'm saying? This is episode 18. Your boy Big J, Orla Hughes, Lisa Dainjah, special guest, the big boy, homie Fitz Reid. So play your cards right. You know what I'm saying? You can end up on the couch. And also, next week, we're going to officially start the 50-50. So we'll come up with more information to let you know. All right, people? So we out.
Bye. Good night, guys.
Night.
It's your smile, baby. I love your style, sugar. Care about your size, care about your money.
Pull it up.
one.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's well. There we go.
Oh no, oh no, no. Wait a minute, my lover. I would love to love you. I want to love you. I don't care about your size, care about your money. Long as you make me laugh, long as you stay funny. It's your smile, baby. I love your style, sugar. But I don't care about your size, care about your money. Long as you make me laugh, long as you stay funny. It's your smile, baby. I love your style, sugar.
Yeah. I know it's cliche, no, cause for this mama, you know the beefsteaks. I be like, bitch, cool mama, my baby roll with her skin tone. That's the kind of woman I bring home. She cooks for me, she cooks for me. This kind of love make you wanna sing songs like, you can say, where the big girl poses. She get the swag on, Louis bag on, when she hit the club. Hating the women, get the mad on for the fact of the more you love. When you walk by, hold the boys woman, you all woman. You so fly.
Hey, Sammy's asking if the girls smell suits.
Sorry, that was epic fail.
Okay.
We're gonna go, what? What it is, ma? How you get this with a girl your size? Ooh, girl, you're so comfortable when I lay you between the thighs.
I don't care about your size, care about your money. Long as you make me laugh, long as you stay funny. It's your smile, baby. I love your style, sugar.
Yeah.
But I don't care about your size, care about